While Judith Persichilli has become a familiar face to the state of New Jersey, she was ours first. We are exceptionally proud of Judy, who is currently Vice Chair of our Board of Trustees. A career nurse and healthcare executive, Judy was tapped by the New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy in 2019 to serve as Acting Commissioner of Health, the first nurse to ever be Commissioner of Health. In January 2020, she was confirmed by the state Senate, and within a matter of weeks, the world changed as COVID-19 took hold. Since early last year, Judy has helped state officials fight the pandemic and has been part of regular press briefings, off camera, and behind the scenes. Judy is working with individuals and institutions at every level to help save lives. Her leadership in fighting COVID-19 has been critical in bringing collaborators together. Throughout the pandemic, she brought together scientists, county and local health departments, school districts, pharmacies, convention centers, big box retailers, urgent care centers, community groups, churches, and yes, even universities like Georgian Court. Judy's lifetime of work at the forefront of healthcare prepared her for this moment in history. Judy is also President Emerita of the CHE Trinity Health, the health ministry formed in May 2013 by the consolidation of Catholic Health East and Trinity Health of Livonia, Michigan. She previously served as the interim president and CEO of CHE Trinity Health. Prior to this appointment, Judy was president and CEO of Catholic Health East. She held executive positions at University Hospital in Newark and St. Francis Medical Center in Trenton. Among numerous honors, she's been inducted into the New Jersey State Nurses Association Hall of Honor and received the Richard J. Hughes Humanitarian Award. Judy also co-founded the Catholic Foundation of Greater Philadelphia, and among other distinguished academic achievements, hold an honorary degree of health degree from Georgian Court University. It is my honor to welcome Judith Persichilli as your commencement speaker.
Good afternoon. It's a real honor to be here. Georgian Court is one of my favorite places. I haven't been here very frequently in the last 14, 15 months. Something's been going on in the world that I had to attend to. Thank you, President Marbach, distinguished faculty, guests, and most importantly, the Georgian Court Hackensack Meridian School of Nursing class of 2021. As a proud recipient of an honorary Doctor of Health from Georgian Court, and having been part of the Georgian Court family as a member of the board, I am so honored to be here. I'm especially proud to stand before you, first, as a nurse. Secondly, as the first nurse to lead the Department of Health in New Jersey. As the nursing class of 2021, you have chosen an honorable and personally rewarding profession that puts you in the front lines in the delivery of health services for all those who will be entrusted in your care. Nurses are vital to our healthcare system. Never has that been more true than today. COVID-19 has been an extraordinary, once-in-a-century pandemic. As I told the team who has worked on this nonstop at the Department of Health, you are not just living through history. By your work, you are making history as we journey to restore a new normal to our lives. This is not the first pandemic in my family's history. My grandmother died in the 1918 flu epidemic. And as this pandemic, the impact of this pandemic on families in New Jersey, where 1 in 500 New Jerseyans have died from COVID-19, it had a profound impact on our family as well. In 1918 and now, nurses, play a central role in saving lives. The COVID-19 pandemic certainly proved that. Throughout the pandemic, nurses have been a crucial part of the heroic front line of healthcare workers battling to save not only their patients, but sometimes their coworkers, and in some cases, their family members. They have worked tirelessly under the most difficult of conditions in hospitals and ICUs and emergency rooms and county clinics and nursing homes. They became community advisors and volunteer vaccinators. Every day they put aside their own personal issues and burdens to lift the burdens of others. In the beginning, when the global supply chain was disrupted, we did not have enough masks, gowns, gloves, or ventilators. Some nurses were forced to wear garbage bags to protect themselves so they could care for their patients. Heroic efforts every single day. Another tragic feature of this pandemic was that families were unable to visit their loved ones in the hospital or in nursing homes, so nurses became the patients' families, and they used iPads and cell phones to connect families with their loved ones. Every day they supported their patients, some in the last phase of their lives, standing in the stead of their families. They mourned when their patients died, and they celebrated when they recovered, and they came back day after day to do it all over again. Their work has truly been inspiring and aspirational to all those who will follow in their footsteps. And among today's nursing graduates, there are those who have served on the front lines of this pandemic in our New Jersey hospitals. You are a very special graduating class. I'm sure you know that. 40% of you worked in hospitals during the pandemic. 40%. You joined the ranks of frontline givers, saving the lives of valued New Jerseyans, someone's mom or dad or brother or sister. Please know how grateful we are for the service that you gave. So this morning, you may have read about one of your classmates in the paper, Ethan Carpenter. Ethan, where are you? Ethan Carpenter, who while working as a patient care tech at Jersey Shore, performed CPR and was part of a team that saved the life of a woman who was experiencing a cardiac arrest. Over the course of your careers, many of you will be involved in similar emergencies, and it is the education that you received at this institution that will help you touch so many lives, calming the scared and healing the sick. You are entering the most noble of professions. Over the past year, I've reflected a lot about my path, first as a nurse and later as a CEO of several hospitals. I began my nursing career after graduating from St. Francis School of Nursing, and then I went on and got a BSN at Rutgers College of Nursing. I know there are many people that graduate from college wondering whether they've made the right career choice. That was never a question for me. Becoming a nurse was the best decision I ever made. It was something I always knew I wanted to do. I began working in an intensive care unit at St. Francis, where I learned the values of teamwork, dedication, critical thinking, hard work, and most importantly, empathy. These skills continue to serve me today. Later, after earning a master's degree in administration, I worked throughout many departments at St. Francis and eventually became the CEO, the first non-sister CEO of that hospital. I continued to take on management roles, eventually serving as CEO of several hospitals in a large hospital system. So I've been pretty successful in my career for one reason, because I was given opportunity. Opportunity that sometimes is not open to everyone, because individuals have a tendency to shut the door behind them. I've moved through, I don't want anyone else to follow me. I learned early on to keep the door open so others can succeed. My advice is never to shut the door behind you. Never forget what you learned here. Lift each other up. Continue to support one another in your professional journey. And maybe someday, you'll have the privilege of being a commissioner of health during a global pandemic. Also, throughout my career, it's always been important for me to give back to help the residents of New Jersey, the state that I was born in and I've lived my whole life. So 2 years ago, when the governor asked if I was willing, I accepted the position of health commissioner because I believed I would be of service to a very large group of people called New Jerseyans. So my new role started with a lead crisis in Newark, where children with elevated lead levels were being hospitalized. And then I had a quick evacuation of our Mommy and Me, which is a program up in North Jersey. We had a fire in one of our homes that required, in the middle of a Saturday night, I might add, a quick evacuation of the moms and children in the middle of the night, women in recovery, I might add. And then we had a flood in one of our office buildings and had to move 250 people, our communicable disease service, to a new site. And I considered that all in a day's work. And then we started getting notice of pulmonary complication from vaping. Do you remember vaping? We had never seen that before, and it was affecting a lot of young kids. So that was my first 4 months. And then in January, we began to hear stories of a novel coronavirus, which was in Wuhan, China, and as the world would soon learn, would become the COVID-19 pandemic. I had known that leading the department would be a challenge because of the many health issues that confront us as a state. But COVID-19 has confronted all of us with the challenge of a lifetime. It's impacted every aspect of our lives, how we work, how we interact with family and friends, how we go about our everyday living, how we go to school or travel, or how we reflect and gather. Here in New Jersey, early on, we faced not only the medical challenge of COVID, but also the disruption in the supply chain, where life-saving equipment was not available, something we had never experienced in our lifetimes. Meeting the shifting challenges that arose in face of this novel coronavirus has taught us to be more resourceful, more creative, highly adaptable as we continually moved from one difficulty to another without losing sight of our mission. Sounds like the day in the life of a nurse. Resourceful, creative, adaptable, and mission-oriented. Through testing and contact tracing and advocating for masking, social distancing, and vaccination, we are trending decisively in the right direction. With more than 8 million doses of vaccine administered, we finally can see light at the end of this tunnel. It is a major scientific achievement to have 3 effective vaccines available to residents within the same year as we had our first case. It has given us hope for a brighter, healthier future for our state. There will be lessons that we've learned from this pandemic, lessons that will change and inform healthcare delivery going forward. In particular, our experiences collectively with COVID-19 have shown a bright spotlight on the same long-standing inequities that have contributed to health disparities affecting racial and ethnic groups and have also put them at increased risk for this virus. These racial and ethnic populations are also disproportionately represented among essential workers, people that work in hospitals that could not obviously work remotely. Throughout my career, I've always believed that frontline workers, particularly nurses, are vital to making necessary changes to promote better health in our communities because they have the knowledge and the experience. As nurses, you will have a direct opportunity to share your voice, your experiences, to help drive the change that we need. You've witnessed history this past year. You are joining the ranks of healthcare heroes. You will continue to be on the front lines of history as you begin your career. You will tell your grandchildren about working through a pandemic, making a difference every single day. The lessons you've learned will continue to learn in the field will serve you throughout your career in healthcare, and you will touch more lives than you can ever imagine. As former President Barack Obama said, America's nurses are the beating heart of the medical system. You have earned this day after much hard work. Along with your nursing journey, as in life, you will achieve great success. You may also feel the sting of defeat along the way. The important thing is to learn and to grow, share your successes, and always, always take time for yourselves. Your profession is hard and it's difficult. Take time for yourselves. And remember, never shut the door behind you. So let's all work together for a future better than the present we live in. And let's get vaccinated. Congratulations to you, your families, all the best of luck. Nursing class of 2021, go forth and make a difference in this world. You can do it. Thank you.